Thank you. Well, it's time for our second team. So could you please join with me in welcoming the team from Macquarie University. Unfortunately, their faculty advisor, Daryl Hull, is not able to be with them, but please welcome Macquarie.
You have 1 minute left in your setup time. You may now commence your presentation.
We live in a world where our thoughts and ideals are continually evolving, being shaped and accepted as community norms. Whilst some ideals progress humanity, there are stigmas which grow and feed off negativity.
Far too often, we take what we hear without seeing for ourselves. We at Enactus Macquarie feel empowered to bring these long-standing stigmas into focus.
We are shining a light on these issues that are so blatantly ignored, issues that should matter to the Australian community.
This should seem like wishful thinking to some, but for us, it's a very achievable reality.
I'm Niyati.
I'm Beheshta.
I'm Salonika.
And I'm Lisbeth. This year, Enactus Macquarie is proud to present P-Link and the Women's Creative Hub. These projects seek to defeat assumptions and create a more supportive community. I'll now pass on to Salonika and Niyati, who will introduce P-Link.
Headspace CEO Jason Trethewin has stated that when it comes to mental health, students are a group that can fall through the cracks. With over 250,000 university students in Sydney alone, trying to balance their personal lives with long nights of study to be the absolute best they can, this is an incredibly unsettling reality.
Do you think there is a stigma attached to mental health? Yes, definitely. It's seen as people being really weak and not strong enough to handle everything that's coming onto their plate.
The stigma that Jade refers to contributes to emotions of dread and unfamiliarity, ultimately leaving individuals in the darkness. Far too often, we've accepted this inability to cope as a regular part of our lives, fearful to give it a name.
The World Health Organization defines mental health as a state of well-being. So instead of looking away or simply diagnosing, shouldn't we be creating healthier environments for strong mental well-being?
On World Mental Health Day 2016, during peak assessment period, we surveyed 133 students. 72% indicated they were frequently overwhelmed and tense. This was measured through the signs of headaches and fatigue. Students saw these feelings as a normal part of their university lives. They were turning a blind eye to the adverse consequences this could have on their mental well-being.
Speaking to Macquarie University's main mental health service, Campus Wellbeing, we discovered that they were actually struggling with student engagement. Was this simply an issue of a lack of visibility, or was there a deeper problem? We turned towards the student body to understand their perspective. 68% of the 59 students we surveyed indicated that they were unaware of the counselling and disability services provided by Campus Wellbeing. Students expressed that they needed a stepping stone to access Campus Wellbeing services. The clinical setup made students reluctant to attend.
In bringing these concerns to Campus Wellbeing's attention, we made it our shared objective to bridge this gap. By adding an element of personalization and relatability, we would successfully enhance Campus Wellbeing's appeal to students. In targeting the stigma students hold towards seeking help, we would prevent the deterioration of mental health at its very roots.
We present to you Peeling, university students helping each other defeat the negative stigma attached with mental health.
In Peeling, you have mentees and mentors. Mentees are university students who face symptoms of mental distress. Mentors are psychology students who are passionate about assisting fellow students achieve better health. This gives Peeling an innovative peer-to-peer structure.
Peeling has 3 stages. The first stage is to allow for the comfortable discussion of mental health. The second stage is to tailor personalized self-care techniques based on individual student concerns. And finally, to increase student engagement in campus wellbeing services.
In addressing our first objective, we asked students on campus on what they would like to see in such a wellbeing program. 85% of 200 students stated they would like to see activities such as meditation, time management tips, social games, and art therapy. With this in mind, Peeling partnered with Campus Wellbeing and Headspace to approve its program and mentor training manual. The Peeling program consists of individual and group sessions. Whilst weekly individual sessions personalize the program for mentees, weekly group sessions create reliable support networks through team building and peer relaxation exercises.
In the first week, mentees will be encouraged to freely talk about their mental health and develop goals to ensure individual growth in the program. In the second week, they will be taught different stress coping mechanisms through meditation, art therapy, and time management skills. The third week will focus on bringing participants together to foster trust and cohesion through social games. In the final week, mentees will be asked to reflect on their experiences and develop ways of utilizing their stress coping mechanisms after the completion of the program. We have recruited 9 mentors and 10 mentees for our first pilot, which will be held next semester. Mentors understand that their goal is not to diagnose, but to create a healthy support network. Allied health professionals are training mentors in accordance with campus wellbeing guidelines later in July, so that when the semester begins, we are ready to go.
Peeling understands that mental health is an ongoing phenomenon. It is crucial that we are able to make meaningful change in the lives of our mentees. Testimonies and feedback surveys at the end of each group and individual session will allow us to assess mentee satisfaction. We will also track how frequently mentees use their self-coping mechanisms in times of stress during and after the program, using diaries and creative stress maps.
A more sustained measurement of success will be achieved in Peeling's third stage, tracking the number of students who attend campus wellbeing services by our referral. In connecting more students to campus wellbeing, our follow-up service will not only empower university students to actively seek a healthier state of being, but also promote the comfortable discussion of mental health on campus.
The program will be upscaled to run twice a semester to increase engagement with university students. With sufficient proof of concept, we want to pass this project fully onto Campus Wellbeing and Macquarie Psychology Department to run independently. We have engaged in preliminary discussion to have mentor participation in our program recognized as professional work experience. Peeling's model can also be scaled out to other universities as they are facing similar issues.
It is important to recognize that mental health is not about suppressing a disorder statistic. It should always come back to maintaining an individual state of well-being in a collaborative support system. Enactus Macquarie wants to shine a light on the powerful stigma attached to mental health. In joining hands, Peeling aims to enrich, empower individuals in order to achieve a healthier state of well-being for everyone. We present to you Peeling.
University students helping each other defeat the negative stigma attached with mental health.
We will now pass over to Elizabeth and Beheshta, who will talk about our successful project, the Women's Creative Hub.
Leaving your country, your home behind, is an incredibly daunting proposition. Yet, for refugee and asylum seeker individuals, this is an all too familiar reality. Their journey is a long and harrowing tale, and when they arrive in Australia, they are bombarded with negative opinions by some sectors of society. But refugees are human beings who have fought extraordinary circumstances. There are many issues surrounding employment for refugees, and whilst we can't solve Australia's policy issues, we can help women attain employable skills to make a sustainable transition into the Australian workforce and community.
In March 2017, we became involved with the Women's Creative Hub, an initiative started by House of Welcome in 2015. Women from Australian and migrant backgrounds come together in a safe place to teach and learn new textile skills, transforming recycled material into handmade products. The program consists of a collective of refugee organisations, and we're proud to say that its newest partner is us, Enactus Macquarie.
When talking to the women at the hub, they mentioned that doing crafts had the same effects as meditation. Weekly workshops began, and hub members with pre-existing skills, like Sorsan, an asylum seeker from Sudan, and Chandra, a refugee from Sri Lanka, taught other women how to sew and make jewellery. This was the light in the dark for many women trying to rebuild their lives.
Our involvement led us to discover that a key threat to the development of the enterprise was its sustainability. There was no model in place for it to reach and extend beyond its potential. That's where Enactus Macquarie comes in. We help the hub with its business model, generating strong marketing strategies to help sell products, transferring the necessary skills, and ultimately providing an income for the woman.
Our project has two main objectives, and we are going to achieve them in two ways. Firstly, to shine light on the asylum seeker and refugee debate through community involvement and social cohesion.
We are increasing the brand awareness and sustainability of the Women's Creative Hub, holding events to educate the community and show what the hub has been doing to get more people involved.
And secondly, to enhance the soft skills of the refugee and asylum-seeking women involved with the hub.
We provide opportunities for the women to sell their own products, enhancing their sales skills to help them find employment doing something they love. This year, Enactus Macquarie is focused on our first objective. This has seen us expand the Women's Creative Hub's online presence, reaching over 10,000 people through our social media campaigns. Our venture has also seen us directly impact over 250 people. We have successfully shone a light on this contentious issue, showing that asylum seekers and refugees do contribute meaningfully to the wider Australian community.
In June, we expanded the reach of the hub to other locations, such as North Sydney and Gosford, by hosting sold-out events to increase community engagement. Both events showcased the culinary and creative skills of the women at the hub. We volunteered at House of Welcome's music evening in North Sydney. Sausan sold her own products and made $200 in total, whilst the hub made $450 from product sales alone. These results are proof that we can make a sustainable income by selling the products to keep the Women's Creative Hub running.
Enactus Macquarie's organisation of the Gosford exhibition greatly helped with the women's confidence. Sausan sold her own products again and doubled her profits to $400. Overall, the hub made a total profit of $2,000 from this event alone. All profits are reinvested back into the hub for use on future marketing and events. It will also provide for further resources to include more women in our social movement.
More importantly, we have gone a long way in achieving our first objective, shining a light on the refugee and asylum seeker debate. Basking in the heartwarming communal atmosphere, 50% of attendees at our Gosford event indicated that they learned something new about the plight of refugees and asylum seekers in Australia. We have also received significant media attention from the wider community, with the Central Coast Express Advocate running an editorial on the event.
This brings us to our second objective, enhancing our businesswomen's soft skills to help them excel in the workforce and even start their own businesses. Sausan and our chefs were paid wages at both events. This provided them with Australian work experience and an income where they could work in a team, handle cash, and market their products to their customers. Our events have grown our businesswomen's confidence and communication skills as they engage in open conversation.
I like the people here. They're very, very friendly, and I feel like they like what I'm doing in my hand. They gave me push more to do it nice stuff.
Whilst we have been focused on increasing community engagement, we cannot discount the amazing efforts and evolving skills of the women involved. Together, we have expanded the hub's presence and impact on individuals, from Auburn as far as Finland.
Moving forward, we'll be selling through physical and online avenues. We have linked the hub with Darcy Street Project Cafe, a like-minded organisation which provides training for disadvantaged individuals, including refugees. Handmade products like the jewellery that we have on today will be available for purchase. We're also setting up our online stores through Etsy and Shopify, so stay tuned for some beautiful products. There'll be further focus on our second objective, continuing to transfer soft skills to our talented women.
Our overall goal is to transform the Women's Creative Hub into a fully functional business. Earning a steady flow of income, profits will continually be reinvested into the business. We will achieve this by holding monthly exhibitions, securing reliable sales avenues, and having consistent supply chains of recycled and donated materials.
By using entrepreneurial action, the Women's Creative Hub is an innovative social enterprise that empowers asylum seeker and refugee women to learn new skills and become a part of the wider community. It shines a light on the asylum seeker debate, changing conversations and empowering our women to create a better life for themselves in Australia.
Enactus Macquarie is committed to the UN Millennium Development Goals. Whilst Peeling addresses good health and well-being across all ages, the Women's Creative Hub calls for decent work and economic growth, reduced inequality, and responsible production and consumption.
Our projects encompasses Enactus Macquarie's values of teamwork, personal best, sustainability, and integrity.
We've proven to ourselves how much we can change the world in one short year, and we're excited to continue shining a light on these real issues. We are Enactus Macquarie.
And we believe that it takes many hands to uncover the light.
We'll now begin question and answer period. Only judges may ask questions. Please show your hands and we'll give you a microphone.
Thank you, team. I'd like you to expand a little bit more on the employment outcome. So for women employed, can you tell us a little bit more about the growth potential there and where are they employed?
So from the ABS statistics in 2014, 90% of male refugees were employed compared to just 63% of female refugees. So we want to reduce this gap, hence why we're targeting women. So we're working directly with the women who have expressed interest in creating crafts, hence why they're part of the Women's Creative Hub. And we want them to start their own businesses or even take over the hub in the future.
Just wondering if you can clarify the financials for me. You talked about the Women's Creative Hub having profits of a couple of thousand, but in the financial information it doesn't state, it talks about income from fundraising and grants. So where is that where's that profit included? I just can't.
So the profit goes back into the hub itself. On the annual report, it's stating Enactus Macquarie's expenses and profits. So a lot of the fundraising is actually to help the Peer-Link project, but for the Women's Creative Hub's profits, it goes back into the hub, hence why.
So from an economically sustainable model,
yes,
how is that Creative Hub working in terms of profit and loss? Is it delivering a positive return?
Yes. So
overall, what is that number? Sorry.
So for the Women's Creative Hub specifically, from our events, we had a total profit of $2,000, which was reinvested back into the hub for use on the future marketing and events. But however, our costs are very minimal, and all revenue does cover the costs that we make.
I'm curious to know, in designing Peer-Link, whether you linked up with other universities like the ANU, QUT and such bodies about their programs and the type of approach they're taking to student mental wellbeing.
Sorry, can you repeat the
Did
question?
you link up with other universities in terms of what they're doing to identify best practice in designing Peer-Link?
Yeah, so we have talked to other universities, and we're looking for universities with a similar infrastructure where they have a mental health on-campus mental health service and a psychology department. This will allow Peer-Link to be scalable, because this means that the on-campus mental health service can be the primary organizer of the program and provide the mentees, whereas the psychology department can provide the mentors. So we're definitely collaborating with other universities to ensure that Peer-Link can be scaled out.
Oh, hello. Look, I'm just interested knowing that people that are most at risk tend to hide away the most. How do you identify those most at risk?
So we're looking for university students who are struggling to balance the personal and study life. And before the program beginning, we will ask mentees to fill out a diagnostic form that will be provided to us by Headspace, as they are one of our accredited partners. And through this way, we will be able to filter our mentees, because we'll be able to recognise who needs clinical help and who's actually genuinely interested about increasing their positive headspace. And we will also be able to refer those individuals who need clinical help onto campus wellbeing.
Yes, yep, I'm here. You're going to be a popular lady. My question also relates to Peer-Link. Could you comment on, I get the impression that you're dealing with the symptoms rather than the cause. Could you perhaps give some comments on what's been done at the university in terms of addressing the issue that causes mental health lack of well-being?
So currently we've been trying to look into existing campus wellbeing services and what they offer. Unfortunately, although they do have stress relief programs, because they're so clinical, it doesn't appeal to university students in terms of decreasing the cause of mental, in terms of addressing the cause of mental distress. So we're trying to provide that relatable platform between university students and campus wellbeing and offer them a stepping stone to the services available.
Women's Creative Hub. I noticed you started to break, you commented you were breaking online through Darcy Street. Also noticed that you do have a direct connection there with your business advisory board with someone from the Darcy Street project. How do you plan to expand further in the online space, and can you talk to us a bit about the route through online?
So Enactus Macquarie is actually setting up the online spaces through Etsy and Shopify, and we will teach the women directly afterwards and show them what goes on behind the scenes and how to operate the platforms. For Darcy Street Cafe...
Your time has expired. Judges, please join me in thanking Macquarie University for their presentation and hard work. If we've now got a